What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we've had the 2025 Subaru Legacy. This is the Touring XT. And if you're not familiar, unfortunately, this is the last year of the Legacy. So I guess it'll have a legacy. All right, no pun intended. Anyway, with that said, maybe it was intended. Without that said, let's go ahead and start with the cinematic. If you're new to my channel, 60 seconds or less. And then the next video is going to be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Every press car gets the same treatment, same videos. That way everything is fair. Over 23,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. So without further ado, let's jump right on into this review. Let's roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. Alrighty, this Legacy Touring XT is a 2.4 liter turboed 4-cylinder boxer motor pushing 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Transmission is a CVT. Drivetrain is symmetrical all-wheel drive. Curb weight is around 3,787 pounds, which is going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in about 6.1 seconds. And I will agree, it definitely has some pep in the step for a 4-door everyday sedan. Now, MPG is 23 city, 31 highway with a combined average of around 26 MPGs. Gas tank size, 18.5 gallons. Touching on vehicle dimensions, overall length, 15.9 feet, roughly, and width is about 6 feet wide. Ground clearance is about 5.9 inches. Now, moving on to price, which is obviously important. Pricing starts at around $25,210 USD base model. Tester today is roughly $39,481, including the destination charge. While we are here in the back, in order to pop the trunk, you just simply come back here, press the little button, up it'll go, and then we actually do have a good bit of space in there. Easily can fit 2 golf bags plus more luggage back here. However, I will put the cubic feet here on the screen. On the exterior, just want to talk over just a few different things really quick. LED headlamps, which are nice and bright at night. One thing to me that kind of stands out, to be honest, is this is like a, I don't even know what color you would call this, because it's kind of like a matte finish to the silver. I don't know exactly, but it's just the mirror cap, right? Because then on the door handles, you have actual chrome. So, and there's nothing else on the car that has that color. So that was interesting to me. Either you like it or you don't, but nonetheless, that is something that I did find interesting. It does have keyless entry. You can see it located right there. Only on the front doors, not on the rear. And then last but not least, people love to know tires, and it is a 225 50/18. If you're new to my channel, I test getting in every single vehicle, just so you guys can kind of get an idea as to what it's like. I am 5'9" if you are new to my channel. So stepping in here, a little bit of a duck, but not bad. And then once we're back here, we've got, again, I got to push down my hat just a little bit. So we've got probably a solid 2 inches, I would say, above us. And then taking a look down here, I would say a good 4.5, 5 inches there of space. And this is where I drive. Now in here, genuine Napa leather in this trim level. We have heated seats, even for the rear, USB-C, USB-A, 2 different vents, and then we have like a bunch of different pockets on both seats, so that's kind of interesting. 2 cup holders and an armrest, all super soft. And then last but not least, while we're in the rear, taking a look here at the door, nice little chrome bezel there, which is good. No wiggle, no jiggle, good fitment. And then nice and soft there, soft here, soft, a little bit harder and then this is like rubberized, and then down here is more like plastic. So everywhere that you would touch, nice soft touch. Alrighty, time to step on into the front. So as we step in, super, super easy, no complaints, not high off the ground, not too low. I think it's honestly pretty close to like a Goldilocks, if you will. Yeah, super easy to get in. And then once we're in, we do have plenty of headroom, legroom, oh my goodness. Headroom, you've probably got, I don't know, 3.5, 4 inches up there. And then of course we still have, I mean, that's just where I drive. Obviously you can adjust. Nonetheless, nice and comfortable. Taking a look at the driver's door, you can see there's 2 different settings for memory seating, so nice to have. Similar to the rear, does have power folding mirrors. Whenever you lock the vehicle, they will automatically fold. And then again, all 4 autos, and then you have little chrome bezels. It's nice, and then all soft touch where you'd expect it to be. Now that we are in here, there is no heads-up display. However, you can probably see the little rectangle up there, and it kind of reflecting off the glass. It does have little dots that basically appear. Various different things are what cause them to go off with lanes, cars in front of you, stuff like that. But nonetheless, that is up there, but no actual heads-up display. And then there is no full digital instrument cluster. However, you do have a little digital square there in the middle. Do wish they would have continued the legacy. I really do, and I would have loved to seen that all digital and then just a heads-up display, and then past that, I think we would have been just absolutely money. Now, if we come over here, we can take a look with this nice display. I believe it's between 11 and 12 inches, and you have all of your controls for your heated seats, cooled seats, and then your heated steering wheel is actually located right there. Now that we're over here on the steering wheel, might as well talk about it. It does have lane centering when cruise control is set. Also has adaptive cruise control. And then over here on the left, you have your volume, seek, and then obviously you can scroll through your different menus that you can go through there. And then over here to the right of the gear shift, you can hit the view button, and then you can see that it does have a front view camera that is out in front of us. However, if we were to put it into reverse, that is out behind us. Now, I will not lie, the quality could probably be improved a little bit in today's age. However, it's nice that it does have it. If you've seen any of the more modern Subarus, this is a very standard system now. And then this is just kind of the responsiveness as to how it is, just touching the navigation so you can kind of see. Again, not too much else to talk about really in here, but did want to at least show you. And then down here we do have a parking brake, and then we have 2 cup holders, and then this is of course nice soft touch, again genuine Napa leather. And once we open it up, yes, you are seeing that correct, that is a CD player. That is not too often you see too many of those, which is nice. And of course, if I hit the other button, you can see there's a thin little tray there as well. Alrighty, last few things here. You have home link, auto dimming for the mirrors, and then up here you can see sunglasses holder, and then you do have a sunroof. We can go ahead and slide that open really quick. It is not panoramic, as you can see, and then there is an option for LED lights on the interior. That is one of the options. There's also an option, I believe, for a wireless phone charger. I would only assume it would go there. Again, I only have this tester, so I don't 100% know, but that's the only place that would make sense, and I do know that it is an option. All right, I think that pretty much covers everything on the interior. Now it's time to let the symmetrical all-wheel drive shine and this boxer motor, so let's go get it out on the road. Let's roll. Personally, my favorite looking vehicle in the Subaru fleet is definitely the Legacy. I think the Legacy to me just looks the best. Again, just personal preference. Some of you may say otherwise on some of the others. The one thing that personally I would love, again, just because I like the looks of it, I love the way that the new WRX drives because it's a manual transmission. If we could have got a manual transmission back in the Legacy, I think we would have been really cooking with peanut oil. And that's not discounting what this car is, right? Like, but I'm just saying, I think this is definitely a really good looking sedan. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of how Subarus look. I 100% appreciate how well they handle inclement weather with their symmetrical all-wheel drive. And, you know, they have different things like heated wiper blades and stuff like that to really help people out in the winters. And then some of the other ones obviously have a little bit more ground clearance. So I do appreciate what those vehicles are. However, in my opinion, they don't necessarily look the absolute best. This vehicle, first impression when I got it, again, it looks really good. Like, I think for a sedan, I was like, wow, that's actually a pretty good looking car. And then I stepped in on the interior, and I think it's really well done. There's just a few things, like I said, I would change. I would definitely, for the price tag, have a heads-up display, and I would also have a fully digital instrument cluster. Now, when the Legacy was really unveiled many years ago, like this generation, it didn't necessarily need a digital instrument cluster. However, now I do feel like it would really, really go well and complement this interior to have the fully digital instrument cluster. But again, it wouldn't make sense from a business standpoint if, again, this is the last model year. Why would you update something, put the engineering into it when you only really have 1 year? It doesn't make much sense. So I kind of understand why. Actually, I do understand why they didn't. I just wish they were continuing it and were able to basically put those couple of things in this. Other than that, this has literally just about anything you could possibly want. I have spent the week with this vehicle, and I've spent some time even on the freeway, and I have 3 categories for noise. I have wind noise, I have tire noise, and I have powertrain noise. Now, this does have a CVT, so again, powertrain is, and that's between transmission and motor, it's a little noisy, especially on acceleration. Like, we're gonna test it here in just a second, just so you can hear it. And I will be quiet, and I will floor it here in 2 seconds if this guy ever goes. Holy. All right, here we go. And floored. Like, just absolutely gets it. I mean, the symmetrical all-wheel drive, no wheel spin, just gets right out there. Hopefully, as you could hear, again, the powertrain is definitely on the noisier side when it comes to accelerating hard. Now, of course, if you're just cruising along, don't hear much on that front, so not bad. Now, the other thing, as I already mentioned, is wind noise. Wind noise is really good, really maintained, even on the freeway at 75 miles an hour, no problem. Last but not least would be tire noise, and those I can hear a little bit, but again, it's not bad. I am happy in all categories. Other than full acceleration, I wish it was just a little bit improved, but not bad. Coming up to the cattle guard, we do it every single week. So let's test the suspension and noise. Here we go. Okay, I mean, honestly, the noise was maintained. I don't have any issues there. Suspension absorbed it well, I mean, for a sedan. Let's go ahead and set the cruise control. Let's go ahead and test some of this. Now, of course, I've already tested it, but we have just a little thing in the road here. Let's just see what it does. Stays dead center. You can see the wheel probably moving just a little bit. Of course, keep your hands on the wheel, but I just want to show basically what it and how it basically operates if you were to let go for a second. Does a pretty good job. I will say it's not probably the best in the industry, but I don't really have any complaints. It's just, if there's like a break in the road, it'll basically come up with the little yellow dots and it'll tell you, hey, lost connection to the lane. Many other OEMs, 100%, even if there's a break, it will keep you dead center of the lane. So little things like that it could improve upon, but really not bad. Now, as far as adaptive cruise control, no complaints there. Works absolutely fine. You can set your distance and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and touch on blind spots. Over to my left, pillar is like at an angle, and so it's not too bad. And then over to the right, not much, obviously in the very, very back, but you should be able to see in your mirror at that point. Of course, this is equipped with blind spot monitoring. Let's go ahead and test the suspension just a little bit. Let's take this at like 30, 27, I guess. For a sedan, definitely not too shabby. Not too much body roll. There's just, I mean, like a smidge, obviously. It's not a sports car, and I'm not comparing it to that, just giving you the realistic expectations. And it is a lot better than an SUV. So exactly what I would expect out of this vehicle. The thing that this vehicle really shines, and again, we've already kind of touched on it, is the symmetrical all-wheel drive. The symmetrical all-wheel drive in Subaru, I mean, I would argue is probably the best all-wheel drive system. It's just really, really good. It's really refined. I don't have any complaints on their all-wheel drive system. And honestly, some people type about how Subarus kind of stayed outdated. However, they've caught up now, right? Like they've added a lot of things, especially since probably like the 2020 mark. But the reason they sell is because of how good they drive in the winter. That's just the reality. And I 100% give them credit where credit is due, and that is good for these vehicles for sure. Getting in and out of this vehicle, went kind of shopping around just a little bit. Again, no complaints. I mean, it's a really good height. You've got enough to be off the ground. Again, you're not in an SUV, so don't expect it to be too high. But for a sedan, you're just shy of 6 inches off the ground. And I didn't have any complaints getting in and out of this vehicle. I've got my cooled seat on, which is nice to have. And again, they didn't used to have this a long time ago, right? And now they do, and it's definitely nice. Let's test this out a little bit again. Let's kind of get on it again. And again, this thing will absolutely, now we're coming up to a little S-turn. Just want to kind of show you what it'll be like, right? Coming in, braking, braking, braking. And then, of course, I caught some vehicles, unfortunately, because they're going actually under the speed limit. But yeah, the brakes are really good. No complaints on brakes. And as far as acceleration goes, we've already touched on it, but acceleration's quite well. And to be honest, I think it's a little bit better on a roll than it is even from a dig. I've one time brake torqued this car just a little bit just to see. And again, it's still a good 0 to 60. Like, I'm not saying it's not. But from a roll, like when you need to actually like pass somebody, like this thing actually, like if I were just to step on it, like it will put you back in the seat. Once again, just if you're new to my channel, I'm a supercar owner. I've since sold a couple of different ones. I have a 600 roughly horsepower Corvette. I'm used to fast cars. So again, I'm comparing this to other vehicles in this class, and this thing has some pep in the step. If you're looking for a vehicle that's probably going to be really good in some not so good weather and have all the luxuries and still be comfortable, definitely probably a sedan you could look at. And Subaru always does a pretty good job at maintaining value as well, so that's another thing to consider. But nonetheless, next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.